start recording. And I think we're good to go. Let's do a little brow. Hey, good morning. Welcome back to the channel. So today we have, as you see, another Fog of War. Again, this one's by Megan033. I haven't been able to find many other good Fog of Wars. So Megan's just going to get all of my attention for Fog of War puzzles, it seems, for a little while until I can find some other ones that look or seem to be as good as these are. Anyway, this one is called Fog-Topia, again by Megan033. As usual, link in the description below. Go ahead and give this one a try, and I will try my best as well. So what are our rules? So we got normal Sudoku rules apply. Every row, every column, every 3x3 box contains the digits 1 through 9 once each. Digits along a magenta Renban form a set of consecutive non-repeating digits in any order. We do see a Renban here. So these digits, whatever 4 digits they are, they must be consecutive and they cannot repeat. That's all that really means. The digits along each arrow must sum to the digit in the circled cell. We again have an arrow clue shown at the moment. So therefore, these two digits, when they're added together, sum up to whatever is in the circle. A black dot between cells indicates cell values with a 2-to-1 ratio. A white dot between cells indicates cells with consecutive values. Not all dots are given. These are Kropki dots. So we have the black dots that are showing whatever this digit is. This one is either double or half the other one, or x over x here, x over 2 or 2x, however you want to look at it. And the white dots just mean that these two digits are consecutive, 2, 3, 5, 6, whatever it may be. And there is no negative constraint, as the not all dots are given is put in here. Now, the grid is partially covered with fog, so correctly placed digits will clear the fog around the cell. No guessing is required, or needed, or wanted. Essentially, all it means is if we figure out what this digit is here, all of this fog around that digit will clear, and then we'll get some more clues to work with. Very unlikely you'll be able to figure out what this clue is, or what this cell is, without getting to it. What's next? Adjacent digits along a green German whisper line must have a distance of at least 5. So we don't have any shown right now. So let's just say there's a German whisper that looks like this. Whatever this digit is, this one must be 5 away from it. This one must be 5 away from that one. This one must be 5 away from that one, etc., etc. And then we also have a killer cage rule set, which is digits in a cage do not repeat and sum to the clue in the top left. Again, we don't have a killer cage showing right now. Let's just say there's one here of these 3 digits. Whatever is in the top left corner digit, that was what those digits must add up to create the value of the killer cage. And that's all of our rules. So where the heck are we gonna start? Okay, so first off, I guess the best place to look is going to be this set of black Kropki dots. As we've gone through these many times, we know that we can never put 5, 7, or 9 on black Kropkis because you can't have or double those. We also know in this particular instance we can never use the 3 and the 6 because they only work well with each other, not anybody else. So if you were to put a 3 or a 6 here, you'd have to double the other digit here, which cannot work. So these have to be from 1, 2, 4, and 8, and this middle one can never be the 1 or the 8 because if it is, you'd have double 2s or double 4s out here. So that's a baseline. Now, we have a Renban here. I guess we can also, would be a good thing to say is that we know we have to have a 2 and a 4 in here. This is either 1, 2, 4, or it's 2, 4, 8. So the 2 and the 4 have to exist on this somewhere. Now, in terms of this Renban, we have 4 more digits now that we have to have that have to be consecutive, which means that we're actually not going to be able to put an 8 onto here, I believe. Because if you have 2, 4, and 8, what other 4 consecutive digits can you possibly put on the Renban? You'd have to do it somewhere between the 4 and 8. That's the biggest gap you have, and you can only have 5, 6, and 7. That's only 3 digits. It won't work. So this can't have an 8 on it. So one of these two is a 4, which means this has to be a 2. These are 1, 4 pairs. Let's get rid of our markings here. And there we have our in. Okay, now we have a 3-cell killer cage that we're seeing, plus we've got little nubs of German whispers poking their heads in. this means that this 3-cell, there's only one way to make a 3-cell 7 cage when you can't repeat a digit, and you can't do that in killer cages 1, 2, 4. We have the 2 looking in here, so 2 can't be near there, so it has to be here. Again, we further our expanse, and we know these have to be 1 and 4. Now, we've got German Whisper tips, and we know that the tip of both of these, if this is even 2 separate German Whispers, we don't know. This thing could do some massive pathing all the way around to get back here, but we know these both have to be low digits. Therefore, on a German Whisper, you have to be 5 away from the digit adjacent to it, excuse me. So therefore, these have to be high. Again, you can't ever put a 5 on a German Whisper because you can't put a 0 or a 10, so you either have low or high digits. These have to be high digits. Do I want to color these? I think I will. We'll color them orange. And then we know that the German Whispers continue off a little bit, so these 2 digits here have to be low. Now, on top of that, what do we know? I guess we also know this has... No, it doesn't necessarily have to be. This black Kropki is not quite as useful as when I first glanced at it. It could be a 3-6 pair, which would have no conflict with any of this stuff, but it could also be an 8-4, where the 8 would be down here and the 4 would be here, and that would force our 1 and 4 like this. So the next thing to look at, I guess, might be some of these Kropkis we see, or it might be this Renban. 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 5-digit Renban, which means we always have to have a 5 on it, because it's either 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9, and then anything in between will always contain the 5. We said we can't put a 5 on a green German Whisper, so there has to be a 5 in one of these guys. Now, we also know that you can never have a 2 on this, because we have this 2 here and this 2 here, and they see every bit of this Renban. So we can never have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So bare minimum, we're looking at a 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So that puts a bare minimum, we have to have 5, 6, and 7. There we go. I got it out of my mouth. 5, 6, or 7. Oop, I didn't mean to do that one. I'm going to do this guy here for a second, even though I don't like crossing boundaries. And maybe we just want to put this in as 6, 7, 8, or 9 to help with that. So we do not know if this goes down to 3 or 4 at all. Could very well. Sorry, my phone just will not stop going off. I have to put it on vibrate here for a second. And I somehow expect I'll be getting a call in the next few minutes just because I'm trying to record something. So hopefully that does not happen. So what are we doing here? What do we have left? Or what can we work with? Now, is there anything we could do with this Renban that maybe we can start seeing something down on this side? So I was moving up in this direction, but I didn't continue on with this. This Renban. Now we know it can't have anything to do with 1, 2, 3s, or 4s because the 1, 2, and 4 are already taken. So we have from 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. So we have to have 6, 7, and 8 on this thing. Oh, again, I'm in the wrong thing. 6, 7, and 8. Now this could never be an 8. But it could very easily be 6, 8, or 7, 9 to go with our 2 that we already have. Now, if we had... So we either have a 5 or a 9 going along with this thing. And this could easily... We could easily have either one. I guess what we can say is that we definitely can't have a 5 in any of these, but we can't necessarily rule out this being a 5. Okay, well, here's something we can actually look at and see. Because we know we have 6, 7, and 8 here, we know that these are all taken up by black Kropkis. So 5, 7, and 9 can never go on a black Kropki. I think we already stated that. If I hadn't, we can't do it. You can't double or have them. So therefore, we have 6, 7, and 8 here. We either have a 5 or a 9 going with it. The only other place for the other 5 or 9, because we can't have both 5 and 9 on this, has to be here. So this has to be from 5 or 9. Now, if this is 9, it forces this to be 8. If it's 5, it forces it to be 6 because we have a 1-4 pair looking at it. Okay, that didn't quite get me where I was hoping it would. Now, okay, now we can go back to our black Kropki dot. Because previously I said I could not rule out, before I started looking at this, I could not rule this out as being an 8-4, but we can rule that out as being an 8-4 now, because we have to have an 8 down in here somewhere, so this cannot be 8. So this is going to have to be a 3-6 pair. Now we know there's a 6 down here, so therefore this is 3 and this is 6, and there's our little bit of an opening that we most desperately needed to have. So we know there's no 6 in here. Okay, so this guy we're looking, okay, this cannot ever have a 5 on it, because if it did, this would have to be 3. So this is from, and it can't be 6. So this is either 7, 8, or 9, which forces this to be either 5, 6, or 7. Allow myself to put those in like that. But what did we discover up here? We got our German whisper is continuing, so this is a high digit, and it can't be 6, so it's either 7, 8, or 9. This is a low digit, as we know. It can never be a 1 because it forced this to be a 2, so it has to be from 2, 3, or 4. It can't be a 4 because if it's a 4, we have to put a 9 on both sides, and we can never do that. So this is either a 2 or a 3. Can we ever put a 1, a 2, or a 4 here? If this is a 1, that would force this to be a 1, this to be a 4. Now that would work. I thought maybe there would be some interaction between how these 1s and 4s work with these 1s and 4s. Because if this is a 1, this could be a 4 and a 1 this way. So we can just, these can be 1, well it can't be 2 because we look at it, 3 or 4 I think are what our options are here. And now this 6, 7, 8, 9 is not very helpful either. We do know there's a 5 up here just by looking at all this information down here. But again, I don't see how that's going to help us. Is this guy a use now? That I didn't even see it open up there after I put the 3, 6 in here. because I was concentrated on our German whispers. We know... Okay, so what are the options for a 3-cell 9? Well, there's a few of them. One of them, though, would be if we can't use a 1, the only way to make a 9 is 2, 3, 4. Now, if we used 2, 3, 4 here, we would break this black Kropki, because you could never make anything. So if we say we're in 2, 3, 4 here, this can't be 1, 2, it can't be 2, 4, it can't be 3, 6, and it can't be 4, 8, because all of that would be seen here. So this thing has to have a 1 on it. And it can't be here because we got a 1, 4 pair. So one of these is a 1. All right. So we know this is not a 1, 2 pair. I'm wondering if the options on this 9 might further interact with the black Kropki dot. Because the possibilities now, if we know we have to have a 1, it's either 1, 2, 6, or it's 1, 3, 5. Now, this can never be 2 or 3. This can never be 2 or 6. So if it was 1, 2, 5, or sorry, 1, 2, 6, we could always put a 4, 8 in here. If it was 1, 3, 5, it could be a 2, 4 or a 4, 8. So does that mean we always have to have a 4 here? Let's think about that a little bit further. 1, 2, 6 means it must be a 4, 8. 1, 3, 5 means it could either be a 2, 4 or a 4, 8, but it always has a 4 on it. Okay, so yes, there must always be a 4 on this. I'm not sure that that gives me much use here, but it is something. So let's keep going with it. Okay, what else do we have out here then? I think we've kind of used this as best we could at the moment. Well, this can never be a 6. Let's get rid of that because we have a 2 here. A 2 or a 3. This one we don't quite, I can't really do much with. And we know we have an arrow here, but we don't know what it does. We know we have a white Kropki, but we don't really know what it does. We do have a 1, 2, 3, 4, so we can actually get rid of that 1 there like previously, so we couldn't put a 1 there. So we do have a 1, 2, 3, 4 quad right here, which is and isn't useful at the moment. So we know this is going to be another high digit from 7, 8, or 9. Because we can't go down to 6. There's this guy right here. Now, it tells me one of these is a 6, but again, kind of getting out there. So we do have a 7, 8, 9 triple actually here, looking at that. And we said we know one of these had to be 5. The other one is the other low digit. So either from 1, 2, 3, or 4. Huh. How are we going to determine? Because the 6s, again, we already know there's a 6 down here, but we knew these were 6s. We don't quite have any purchase elsewhere with those digits. Is there anything that this white Kropki is going to do for us? I don't see it. There seems like there's quite a few options. Okay. We know this is either 2, 4 or 4, 8. We don't, well, I guess we know that this has to be a 2. This has to be a 2 cell 7. I had kind of disregarded the 7 clue completely because it wasn't really posing much. But it can't ever be. It can't ever be a 3 cell. Because if it was a 3 cell, it either had to turn here or go here, and it would have to be 1, 2, and 4. Well, if it was doing this, clearly it can't be 1, 2, 4 because it'd break both of these. If it was here, 1, 2, 4, this could be a 2, but then you end up getting a 1, 4 pair here and you break this as well. So this is a 2 cell. I don't know how much that helps me to look at it a little bit, I guess. So it's either going to be 1, 6 or 4, 3. I don't like that. Don't like that at all. Is there anything we can do with this guy? Or either one of these guys? And maybe we've just missed something right off the bat that could have been useful. I guess we know there's a 3 down here somewhere. One of these must be a 3. This is not a 6. We're just going to kind of pick away here for a second, just to try to find where the next thing to go is. And I'm not quite seeing it. Well, okay. One of these has to be a 9. Maybe that's what I should have been looking at. No, that's not even true. Wait. Yeah, it's not even true, is it? Oh no, I just made that up. Yeah, they have to be, because this has to be a 1-4 pair. They have to be different. I blinded myself to the 7 clue here. The cage means that one of these has to be 4, therefore one of these has to be 9. So we can definitively say that this is a 9, 8, 7, 6, 6, 5. This can't be 6. No. That didn't do as much as I hoped it might. But now, if we know one of these is a 9, we know the other one is a 1. Or one of these is a 4, one of these is a 1. So one of these is a 9. We don't know which one, which we do know none of these are, because it has to be on the end here. Now the 1, on the other hand, doesn't tell us anything about what these guys can be, because it can go with literally anything, 6, 7, 8, or 9. All right, there is something I'm not seeing. I've said this before and I'll say it again. It happens. Something along here that does not quite work. Now I can't rule out a 7 in this instance. Can I do anything with this triple? Because if this is a 9, that forces this to be an 8, and this is a 7. That makes this a 2. This is an 8. This could either be a 7 or a 9. This could be a 7 or a 9. This could be 2 or 3s. If this is a 7, that forces this to be 8, and this is a 9, this has to be 2. But as we said, there's multiple options for both ways for that to work. Okay, don't get stuck. Don't get stuck. Let's figure out where it is I need to look. And let's do it fast. Oh, this can't be a 9-8 pair. That's what it is. I'm just being blind. Once I figured out this had to be a high digit, that changes this completely. This can't be 9-8, because if it is, this has to be 8-7. Well, if it's a 9, that forces this to be 8-7, and this also has to be an 8. So this has to be our 5 and our 6. I should have seen that sooner. This is not 5. This is not 7. We can get rid of a lot of our markings here. Where are we? There we are. These have to be from 6, 7, 8, and 9, and this clearly isn't 6. All right. Now we have some further clues that we can start using, hopefully. These well, we know these are from 3, 7, 8, or 9. This can't ever be a 9. And it can't be an 8. It could be a 7, though. I do believe. Because it could be 7, 1, 2. But no, that doesn't quite take me anywhere, does it? I thought there might be another interaction with these guys that would determine this, because if this was 7, this can't be 2. There's only 3 left, so this has to be 1, this has to be 2, because of the 2 here. That 2 makes this a 3, which just the 7 would do the same thing. It would remove these from having the 7 here. But then we would force ourselves then to put a 7 here to... No, that doesn't work, does it? Okay, maybe that is correct. If this is a 7, let's look at it this way. This removes these from being 7, so therefore this has to be a 7. Now, if this has to be a 7, this would have to be a 2, because 7 and 3 don't work. But we just said that 7 would have to go with 2 here, so that doesn't work. So this cannot be 7, 8, or 9. And we already know we have 1, 2, 4, 5, and 6. The only digit left is the 3. So therefore it has to be a 3. And therefore we now know this one has to be the last 7, 8, or 9, whatever it must be. And this has to be from 3, 4, and 5. This didn't do much, I don't think. At least not in Sudoku world. But there's probably another cross-reference now of these kind of things. What about this? We've got 7 left. There's really too many ways to make that. And it's either 6, 1 or 5, 2, because we can't use the 3 again. This can't be 6, so this can't be 1. This can't be 2, so this can't be 5. And 1, 2, 3, 4. We do get a quad, so that is useful. 1, 2, 3, 4. This cannot be 1, 2, 3, 4. It cannot be 6, and it cannot be 7, 8, or 9, so it must be 5. Okay. Here we go. So this has to be the last 1, 2, 3, 4, and it can't be 3 because there's a 3 there. Now, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We need 6, 7, 8, and 9. The 6 we know already had to go up here, so that's not useful. What else do we have? We've got to be able to use the given digits that we have to work through this, or the given clues that we have to work through this. And can we reduce the 7 further? If this is 4, 3, this would be 1. This would be 5. This would have to be 7. No, I don't think that does much there. But it seems like this information now is what we've opened up, so it's most likely what we need to look at. Is there like some massive digits here? Like you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We do have it. Wow, that's really weird. So we have all of the digits in these 6 cells that have to be unique. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All are taken. So this can't be 5 or 6. We end up with these being from 7, 8, and 9 because that's all that's left over. Too bad there wasn't any 1 digit. Or is there? This 5, yeah. So where does the 5 go in the row or the column? I don't know why I get columns and rows. No, 5 has to be one of these two. So we can't really determine that. I thought we had it. We didn't, of course. Okay. One of these two has to be a 6. One of these has to be a 9. One of these has to be a 5. One of these has to be a 5. One of these has to be a 5. 7, 8, 9 triple now. This cannot be 7 or 8. Again, we're getting little bits and pieces here and there. Did we have anything in this 1, 2, 3, 4? We know that one of these is a 3. I guess we kind of already knew that. If one of these is a 3, this can never be a 1. Because we had 1, 2, 3, 4, remember? And these are the only 2 places that the 3 could go. So this is either 2, 3, or 3, 4. No, that doesn't quite clear this up either. Well, one of these two has to be a 9, so this can't be a 9. Again, I'm really picking at this thing here. This can happen on some of these Fog of Wars because you have to find the one bit of clue that gets you where you need to go. I feel like I've missed something maybe a little bit earlier on that would have helped determine some other clue that I've moved on from, at least for the moment. So let's look back. Well, I know one of these has to be an 8. So this is not an 8. Because this is either 7, 8, or 8, 9. So this is not 8. So this is not 4. Now we know one of these has to be a 4. 7, 9, one of those is 8. Man, we gotta be right on the edge of just getting the next little bit here. But I am not quite seeing it. 8, 9, 7's no. Can't use this guy at all anymore. Oh, this can't ever be a 6. I should have seen that quite early on. Which means this can never be a 5. This has to be a 5. Let's make sure that's right before we put it in. So by all the markings we have, this guy has to have a 5 in it. So this is a 5. There's a 5 here. So none of these are 5s. And now this has to be from 7, 8, or 9. This can't be 5. So this is 5. That's going to open up a lot here. Now we can start moving again. Okay. There it was. Yeah, just again, it's just finding the one little needle in the haystack to kind of push yourself back into where you need to be. This so this has to be a low digit. This has to be a high digit. Let's do 6, 7, 8, 9 here. Is it possible for this to be a 4 in this instance? If this is a 4, this has to be a 9. I have 4 plus 2 other digits. And I can't use, if this is a 4, this has to be a 1, 6. So this would have to be 4 plus 2 other digits. The bare minimum would be 2 and 3, which means this would have to be 9 again, but we can't do that because this was just the 4 and this makes this the 9. So I think that, oh, come on. Oh boy, okay, back again. Another freaking microphone mishap. Again, I will have to do a dub over of whatever portion of this solve I didn't have my microphone working, at least to a good degree. So you'll have overheard me already doing a dub over as to what I was doing in this instance, so I won't have to go back over it. But I was going to go back over and look at it anyway, just to make sure that I was being correct about it. Can this be a 4 was my question. If this is a 4, this is a 9, because 4 and 9 are the only thing that work together on German Whisper. If this is a 4, that forces this to be a 1 and a 6. Now we have a 4 here, and we have 2 other digits that we have to add to that 4 to equal some other digit. Now we've already said we've used a 4, 1, and 6 here, so the minimum options would be 2 and 3, which equals 5. Plus 4 would equal 9, but we've already said this is 9, so this is not 4. This is 1, this is 4. This is going to break this thing completely open, I think. Because this has to be a 3, 4. This can be a lot of things now, but this has to be 3. This has to be 2. This has to be 1. As you'll see, that's opening everything up. We have, what next? We have a 7, 8, 9 triple on our Renban. So this has to be 5 and 6. There we go. This can't be 6 anymore. And what can we do? So what's the bare minimum now we can put in here? Because we can't have 3 and 4. So this could be 1, 2, and 6 is the bare minimum. So it's going to have to be 2 and 6. 1, 2, and 6 added together equals 9. 9 must go with a 2 on a German whisper, so therefore this is 6. These are not 9. This is not 6. That's a 7, 8 pair. We should be able to do more now, a lot more. This can't be a 6, so therefore this is the 6, which means this is the 8. These are not 8s. Again, these little bits and pieces of things that you don't quite see when you're looking at the overall picture come back to help you greatly. So this is a 3-4 pair. This has to be 5. This has to be 7. This has to be 6. This has to be 1. And we're breaking this thing wide open. That 1 gives us our 4 and our 1. We could have done that with our 4 here too as well, but there that is. Okay. Now that we've gotten a big chunk of fog cleared out of the way, let's look at what we've got left over. Now, can we go back to this 9 clue in any way? Because we said it had to be 1, 2, 6. We can never put a 2 on it. The options were 1, 2, 6, or 1, 3, 5. We can now never put a 2 on it. So this just is 1, 3, 5, which means this is the 5. These are not. And we've got the 3 here. So 1 and 3. This is either 2 or 4. It can't be a 4, so this is 2. Now we said this was either 2, 4, or 4, 8. It cannot be 2, 4 anymore, so it must be 4, 8. So this is 8 and this is 4. And we are continuing to break this thing wide open. This has to be from 6, 7, and 9. Neither of these are 6, so this is. The 7 and the 9 doesn't quite work out just yet. Is there anything on here that we can say? Well, we know what these 3 digits are because of this column. So they have to be from 2, 4, and 5. This can't be 5, so there has to be a 5 on this thing. It's either 5, 4, or 5, 2, which equals 7 or 9. That didn't help too much. I'm going to leave the coloring up there. It doesn't help or hurt. So this guy can't be from 3 or 6, but we don't know if it's... Well, we know there's a 4 on it, because it can't be 1, 2, so it's either 2, 4, or 4, 8. If it's not, if there's a 4 there, that can't be 4. And we don't quite know it. Well, we do know. We can do some more work here. We have to put a 7 in this column. We can't put it down here, so it has to go here. So this is 7, then 9, and then 7. And this, therefore, is 8 and 9. This is 8. This is not 8. This is not 8. Okay, now we know what these 2 digits must be. They are 8 and 9. Okay. Again, that didn't do too much. This 4 here clears up our 3 and our 4. I can't do anything with this guy here, so we'll leave it as such. We do know now what all of these digits are, at least in terms of what their pairs can be. 1, 2, 3, 7, and 6, 9. Now this is, we know it's a low digit. This is a fairly high digit. Can we use that? 9. We know it can't be 9, 1 because this would be 4. It could be 9, 2, and this could be 3. It could be 7, 1, which would make this 6. That doesn't work. 7, 2 would therefore make it a 5. That seems possible. Yeah, all those seem possible. So that's fairly well done. Is there anywhere else in the Sudoku we can look at the moment? I don't think so. We've got pretty much all of the fog cleared out, apart from this clue sitting out here and then finalizing this 14 clue. Everything else is more or less wrapped up. Some of this will get... Oh, we can do this one. We've got the 8 on this. This is the 7 and the 8. again, that's just a little cleanup duty. So let's maybe look at our Sudoku clues. We'll start high this time and see if it does us much good. Because I think we had quite a few of certain digits. Nope, that's not going to do me anything there. No, so maybe it's not going to... Oh, there's a lot of sixes. But all it does is give me an X-wing. Okay. No, we can't quite do it with fives either. We do have an X-wing on fives. So it's looking like maybe we haven't gotten quite to the stage where we can do Sudoku. I'm just going to do a quick run through of it just in case. Don't want to miss anything that's easy. And okay, so we do have a 1. At least that's something. But that seems to be all there is. Okay, so Sudoku didn't do too much, which is fine. But it does give us what these guys have to be, I guess, which is 4 and 5. Get rid of that marker there. That didn't quite do anything. So we've got to use this. We've got to use these clues somehow to figure out what we're doing. So we know one of these is a 5. The other one's a 2 or a 4. It's going to determine what this is. Can we use this in conjunction with this guy to somehow make that determination? Because if this is a 5, that forces this to be a 3. And then if we have to have a 9 too, so this would have to be a 7 in that instance. And this would have to be a 2. Now that seems to all work quite well, actually. What else is there? Oh, let's look at just, it is Sudoku essentially, but it's not going to give us a ton of information. We have a 7-9 pair, so this is 8 and 9, so maybe there is now a little bit more we can do in our Sudoku. Not quite, though. At least not by that standard. Yeah, it didn't do enough. Okay, let's continue then. Again, we know this is either a 2-4 or a 4-8. And do we know anything about some of these other possibilities? No, we don't. Okay. You would think this would have gotten to the point where this is mostly just Sudoku, but it doesn't seem like it is, unless I just missed something completely. Though, no, I can't quite place a 1. I thought I was pretty close to doing it. One of these has to be a 1. And it just means that one of these would be a 1. All right, what is it? It's going to have to be these clues down here. That's the only thing that's left over that can give us anything. So what is it? Don't see anything. It's the problem. I might just have to do a little bit more marking than I'd want to do just to kind of flesh something out here. I'm not even sure this is quite the route to take. Okay, well 4s actually do. Now that we knew that this was a 4-5, we can look here and say where does the 4 go. So this ends up being a 3-4 pair. It means this has to be a 7 or a 9 to finish this out. But again, not quite enough. I get rid of this color real quick. Just sometimes it draws my eye away from what I want it to be. No, I don't see anything there. There has to be an 8 down here somewhere. What else down here? We don't really have much. Okay. I always hate getting kind of stuck at places, then sitting here for 5-10 minutes trying to see what the next step is. Okay, it's going to have to just be something in here. I don't know what it is, but it has to be. So how do we determine what these are? These sets of clues together. So let's go look at it again. If this is a 7, this is a 5, 2. This has to be 9. And we have to do the 2, 3. But the 5, 2 doesn't give any specifics, so maybe it's determining which one of these is what. Because you said, oh wait, have we been sitting here the entire time with a 5 looking at us? We have been. This can't ever be a 5. I know. If this can't ever be a 5, this must be a 5. Yeah, because that 5 right here proved that none of these, so one of these is a 5. I just did not continue with my markings. Although this still doesn't really give me anything beyond the fact that I know that this is either 2, 7 or 4, 9. But I should have gotten that much sooner. Yeah, the 5s are not further helpful. So we still have to figure something out. But now that we know this is a 5, maybe there's something in this that we can use. So if this is a 4, this forces this to be a 9. This has to be 7. These have to be 5 and 2. If this is a 2, this is a 7, this is a 9. This can't ever be a 1, can it? If this is a 9, these have to equal 5. 3, 2 is the only way it works. This is a 7, these have to equal 7. 5, 2 is the only way it works. So 2 and 1, that's what it was. This can't be 2. Again, it doesn't quite get me the rest of the way, which is quite unusual. We know one of these is a 4. Man, I really am just kind of struggling here. Because again, now this digit is still left this ambiguous. Because either 9, 3 or it's 7, 5. And I don't quite see how we can determine which one is which. The only other clue again is this guy here, which we can't tell if it's a 2, 4 or a 4, 8. Can we look across? Okay, the one, that one that we just picked up, if we look at this row now, where does the 1 go? Well, it can't go any of these, so this has to be our 1. And we're going to be done with our 1s because this has to be a 1. That opens this up, but there's nothing there to look at. It's not Fog of War that we're dealing with anymore. It's just Sudoku. You know, one of these is a 2. One of these is a 2, and one of these is a 2. Not useful. The 3s as we look at it further. Again, there's nothing there. Can't do anything with our 4s. Our 5s are just stuck in an X-Wing. Our 6s are stuck in an X-Wing. Our 7s are, again, in type of an X-Wing type pattern. 8's the same. And 9's the same. This one is really getting at me here, where it feels like it's giving up the ghost, but it's not. And I'm wondering if I had possibly missed anything on our rules, but I don't think I think everything was very straightforward. Yeah, so everything was very straightforward, so there's nothing missing there. It's just me not seeing what I need to be seeing. And all I can think of is it has to do with something with how these guys interact with each other, and something will break the puzzle. But I've just not been able to deduce what that is. And I just got to make sure I'm not missing any other clue that's in my face. German whispers are all done. Renbans are done. Black Kropkis, except for this guy, are done. White Kropkis are all done. Yeah, there are no more clues left, other than these. This is a 7. This is a 9. This is a 4. That just puts a 4 down here. This is a 9. This is a 7. This is a 2. It puts a 4 up here. Let's look at that again. If this is a 9, this is a 7, this is a 2, this must be a 4, so this becomes a 4. This is a 7, this is a 9, this is a 4. One of these is a 4. No, that didn't do it. I don't know. I really just don't know. I can look back at these rows to see something, but I mean, the 2 can be here, here, or here. The 3 can be here, here, or here. The 4 could be here or here. The 5 has to go over here. 7's in one of these, and the 9 is in one of those, so that's not useful. The 2 here, we already know it's here, here. 3's there, the 4 we know is over here, 5's and 6's already there. The 7 is here or here. The 8 is here or one of these, and the 9 is here or here. Is it 7's and 9's? Yeah, this has to be a 7 or a 9, doesn't it? Again, it's a really finicky little thing. This has to be from 2, 4, or 8, and it can't be 2. That puts our 2 here. Okay, this is going to be it, and wow, it took me a little while to really find that. My scanning needs to improve, I think. If that's 2, this has to be 4, this has to be 5, this has to be 4. That's 5, that's 3. That's now 9 and 7 and 2 and 7. This has to be 8. This has to be 4. This has to be 8. This has to be 9. This is 2. This is 4. This is 3. We get 4 and 3 up here. We get 7 and 9 up here. We get a deet deet doot up in that corner all the way up there. What do we need here? 6 and 7. We don't have any of that. This has got to be 8 and 9. So the 8, here we go. We can put the 8 here. This has to be 9, 6, 9, 7, 3. This is the 6, and then this is the 7. And we must check. You saw the puzzle solution is correct. Okay, good. Ooh, okay. That one took quite a while because get to a point where it was really trying to find a couple little spots where something could possibly go. Still, excellent puzzle. Logic was wonderful throughout it. At the end there, it just took a little bit of kind of digging deep into finding specific digits that could possibly be given in a certain spot to finalize it and to figure it out. So anyway, that was Fog-Topia, again, by Megan033. Thanks for making these. Keep making them, because you just seem to be the premier Fog of War creator at the moment, until I can determine otherwise. Anyway, I hope you all enjoy this one. I certainly did. Took me a little longer than it probably should have, but it was worth the time to solve. I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks.